Hi everyone, welcome to Board Attacks with StewiejP. I'm Stewie and this is a double shot of WZ132 action featuring Bo B and Team Efficiency Scal. First game from Bo B, which I'll stick a link to his YouTube channel in the video description below. Bo B's platooned up with his old mate Psychromancer Sub-Zero from RNG Clan, the Rangers, and also fried lychees. Never had a fried lychee, but I'm sure they are absolutely delicious. And in this replay on Fjords, it's not for Jords, it's Fjords, just for anyone who might be listening. He's going straight into the part of the map which I refer to as the puddle, and this can be a very, very good place to go in a medium tank or even a light tank. It's generally pretty safe from artillery, unless the artillery goes right up to the northern part of the map. And if you've got a little bit of backup, you can just keep lighting these tanks up and of course keep chipping away at them. Now don't blink, because this game is a pretty quick one. And as Bo B and Psychromancer put some damage into the Comet, and that tier 7 British medium tank will be regretting coming down here. Unlucky not to pick up the kill on tier 7, and Psychromancer, Sub-Zero and Bo B not getting too much tunnel vision, not going forward too far to go for the kill, but rather keep shooting on the tanks that are a threat to them. Of course, that Comet, anyone can kill that Comet, and the Comet's pulled back, and they really need to focus on these tier 8 and tier 9 tanks that are a threat to their safety. Now, Bo B still on full health. He's picked up a kill already, and he's also picked up 1,644 hit points of damage. And of course, Sub-Zero is having a ripper of a game as well by the looks of it. This position on this map is very, very fun. Puts a shot into the T54 Mod 1, the premium Russian medium tank. Sets him on fire, picks up a heap of damage for his efforts, and his platoon mate Seagull's the kill. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, Bo B's picked up another kill, getting rid of that Comet they put all that damage into earlier in the game. The T49 fried lychees looks like he's going on a bit of an arty run. He's avoided the cap circle to not alert the enemy players to him being there, and it looks to me like he's looking for that M40, M43. Looks like he's found him. You'd imagine if he's got the derp gun, he'll definitely be able to one-shot it, but as we all know, sometimes RNG can give you a little bit of pain and make you bounce a shot on artillery, which is absolutely horrifying. Bo B takes a little bit of damage there, but takes the KV-13 down to one shot. Sub-Zero kills him, and looks like those enemy light tanks are really pushing on fried lychees. And why wouldn't you? I'm sure they're absolutely delicious. 6-1's the score, and the enemy T49 going after fried lychees, and why wouldn't he? Fried lychees picks up the kill, picks up his first kill, taking out the enemy T49, and with the score on 7-1, it's looking like a bit of a whitewash for the enemy side, and not in the lead of a lot of it down to this platoon. This platoon's picked up 5 kills between them, and really played havoc with some of these enemy tanks that might have been camping at the back, and they really pushed through that central part of the map, and they're just waiting for their teammates to hurry up and catch up. The IS-3's focusing on the T54, and while he's doing that, Bo B can keep chipping away at the tier 8 Russian heavy tank. Now he's going to get out of this open space he's into. The T54 Psychromancer Sub-Zero, who's also sent me quite a few videos over the years, is looking to make sure that nobody else is back there in the northern part of the map, but looks like the whole team is now coming towards to help. And Psychromancer's picked up 2 kills. Bo B's picked up 2. Fried lychees picked up 2 before he was eaten by one of those enemy tanks. And now Bo B looking to get some vision on those heavy tanks. The M103, the T30 tank destroyer, the Tiger 2 and the T29 all last spotted down this, well, a place where heavy tanks traditionally go on Fjords. Looking at the mini-map, these tank destroyers, looks like they're trying to come into the game, or this Udis looks like he's going in a totally wrong direction. I don't know where he's going. Maybe he wants to cap it. But with the score of 11-3, you wouldn't think anyone would be thinking of capping quite yet. Bo B puts a nice shot into the T29, but he has to be respectful of that turret. It's a pretty strong turret, as you just saw. And of course, that T29 could quite easily put some pain into the Chinese light tank. But T29 very kindly gives Bo B the side of his turret to shoot at. And there's kill number 3 for the WZ132. And now he's looking at that Tiger 2 and the T30. Is he going to go for the T30 first? Looks like he was thinking about it. Puts a damaging tracking shot into the Tiger. And in the end, a comfortable win, 15-5. But it certainly wasn't looking that good towards the start of the game when they lost a couple of tanks. But a very good result from Bo B and the RNG platoon in the WZ132 on for yours. He's picked himself up an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge for his efforts. Bruiser, 5 for effect. Confederate for hitting more tanks than anybody else did. And, of course, the High Caliber for doing over 20% of the damage in that game. All in all, after that quick 4-minute session, 4,168 hit points of damage, 3 kills, gave him a basic experience score of 14-13, which is absolutely fantastic. Did a little bit of spotting as well. And I'm surprised he didn't do more spotting because he was right at the front of that battle that entire game. 5-minute game, 5.5-minute game, 8,500 credits. Bottom line after tax, and that's probably because I'm tipping he would have fired a little bit of premium ammunition, especially against the more heavily armoured tanks in that replay. As we move on to game number 2 in this double shot of Tier 8 action. WZ132. It's the old mate team efficiency. Skell is not in a platoon in this one, but is looking at doing something. He's only got 1 normal shell loaded, and you can see down the bottom of the screen he's got Chinese food as his premium consumable. Of course, it's called something else, but Chinese food will do for me. And I'm tipping he's got a pretty good crew in this. He moves up to one of the normal spotting bushes on Melanovka. And yes, I did have to check because I always confused Melanovka with Muravenka. But anyway, he's lit up that T32, I think. Looking at where his teammates are, I can't imagine anybody else being the one to light him up. And good knowledge of the vision just before the T32 disappears. He tries to put a shot into him. And what would be just after he disappeared? Little bit of a slow start in this one, but looks like Skell's lit up that Leopard. Or somebody has. Maybe it wasn't Skell. Yes, he has. He puts a shot into him as well. Pulls back just in case he gets lit. Of course, the light tanks do have a bonus in their camouflage rating, so they still maintain their high camouflage rating even as they're moving. But of course, when you're sitting in a bush, it's much less likely to be spotted. Of course, the Chinese food consumable gives a 10% bonus, I think it is, to everything, and that includes the camouflage rating of the tank, but not just that, also the rate of fire, the aim time, the reload time, and your speed. All those odds and sods. The WZ11114 getting pretty aggressive there, going straight through a little pond. Spots the T49. Skell puts a damaging shot into him, but he does get lit in the process, so he moves down behind this little ridge line. That WZ11114, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know. I have no words for what he's doing. It's nice to see a good aggressive move, but he has no backup whatsoever. Maybe he's been... I don't know. Maybe the kettle's been put on. Maybe his missus has called him back to the bedroom for a little bit of hanky-panky. Who knows? Skell looking for a shot on the T49. Doesn't quite have it. T49 not being silly, and he's pulled right back. That Leopard has been killed, and it was killed by artillery. Oddball Aussie from Elric clan. It looks like Elric might be doing some count-ins in this game. Skell just misses a shot on the T54 Mod 1. Gets lit again. Takes a big damaging shot from the Charioteer. Is he going to persist with this spotting bush? Blind shots the Charioteer. It looks like it might have hit him. And that WZ11114 somehow is still alive. But you'd imagine a couple of those tank destroyers, or there's generally somebody camping this area. You think they would have clear shots into the side of the Chinese Tier 9 heavy tank. Of course, this is a Tier 10 game, but there's only 2 Tier 10 tanks on each side, and all 4 of them are artilleries, which is a little bit unusual. And quite a few Tier 9s. You can see Skell very tempted to pull the trigger on that T54 Mod 1, but he really doesn't want to risk losing any more health, so he gets back into that bush. That Object 416 is probably too low down to spot Skell and his WZ132. And with his team winning 2-0, there's probably no need for any great risk. Again, somehow that WZ is still alive. I have no idea how he survived that. He obviously copped a hell of a lot of damage from somebody. With 3 artilleries on the enemy side, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was a big arty shell. Of course, when that WZ111 was moving through the water, he would have been moving pretty slowly. Of course, the water makes it a little bit harder to... makes your tank go a little bit slower, and that would have made him a very ripe target for artillery. Very smart shot into the side of the T54 Mod 1. Bounces a shot from the T54 E1, so he needs to be mindful of the American Tier 9 autoloader. And it looks like Skell's taken this opportunity to relocate. The WZ is providing a little bit of vision up there, as is probably the Mutts. So Skell's going to look for a different opportunity to try and carry this game. As he relocates, I'm just going to take this opportunity to finish my nearly cold cup of coffee. And it looks like Skell's going to go searching for that Object 416. Skell using this windmill for a little bit of cover. That 416, of course, that's the rear turreted Tier 8 Russian medium tank, and of course if he pokes over that ridgeline, he won't have the gun depression to shoot the WZ132. But of course he will line him up for whoever else might be aiming that way, which is pretty hard for enemy tanks to shoot Skell where he is. Of course, except for artillery. Looking for a shot. Takes the shot, 249 hit points. I'd be surprised if he didn't get lit there. So now he's got to run, hoping somebody is going to finish off the Tier 8 Russian tank. You can see he's got 1 mark of excellence on this tank. And I know he's liked it. I know he's been playing a fair amount of games in it recently. And he's got all premium ammunition loaded, which does 250 hit points of average damage, penetration of 244, which isn't too bad at Tier 8. At Tier 10 it can be challenging. Only 189 pen on the standard rounds. That's probably why Skell's gone with all gold ammunition. Moving back into the spotting area in the central part of the map, trying to get some spots on those camping tanks like that T54E1. Also, there's a pattern there. Fires, but doesn't quite land his shot. 5-6 is the score, so something's got to happen here. Skell would dearly like to bring that autoloader down as much as he can. He's on 478 health, but they really need to. It's a pretty dangerous tank. Both of those American tanks, the M46 Patton and the T54E1, they can both deal out plenty of damage, especially that autoloader. Artillery takes the Patton out of the game, evening the score up again, 6 apiece, and Skell's on 1300 hit points of damage, nearly 4000 spotting, which is not too bad at all. But looks like the game's only halfway through with the score on 6-all, and Skell just trying to outvision that T54E1 as well as the Charioteer, which was last spotted up there. BZ58 Mutts not doing a bad job at all, trying to get some vision on those enemy tanks, but that Mutts tank has lost a fair amount of health in the process. Only on about 600. 6-all is the score, and someone gets a nice decent shot into the T54E1. Skell picks up the kill somehow. Wasn't fully aimed, but got to take the good with the bad. Now this FV4202, the premium British Tier 8 medium tank, coming for a bit of an attack here. That Tiger 2 doesn't really look... He's probably very, very nervous about the artillery. Looks like artillery on Skull's team put a shot into the British tank. So Skull auto aims, wait for him to become visible again. There he is. Gets him down to a one shot. Now that Tiger could probably just ram him if he really wants to, but he doesn't need to. Skull picks up his third kill, makes his damage count up to 1708, 4226 spotting, and that firmly puts the ball back in Skull's team's court. 8-6 is the score. 6 minutes left. Somebody needs to do something though. It's often a bit of a campy map, this one. And Skull going back. Don't need to go around your own cap circle if that's what you're thinking. But looking for the last remaining bit of damage on this Object 416, who everyone seems to have forgotten about. I think if that Object 416 had have moved up to help the British premium tank, we'd probably have one less Tiger 2 on our team. There he is, just gets out. Oh, does he get out in the nick of time? Is he going to back up again? Doesn't look like he is. The Tiger 2 gets taken out by artillery. And Skull just looking for a shot on that Tier 8 tank. GWE100 Springford does the job. Very nice shot, and now Skull pretty confident that he hasn't been spotted again. Moves up to these bushes just to try and get a little bit of vision on the western side of the map. We know that the Tiger 2 and the Charioteer were last seen in the northern central part of the map, but this Mutz hasn't really done much for a while. He's probably trying to conserve his health, which is the right thing to do, and his VK looks like he's been stuck on top of the hill for quite some time. The Emil 1 and the WZ120 looks like they're coming to help Skull attack from this side of the map, and the WZ120 from TFS Clan is... Skull's going to help him by moving into these bushes. It's a nice aggressive position to get into to get some spots on the enemy team. That UDIS has not been spotted throughout the game. It could be absolutely anywhere. I'm tipping he's probably up at A4 or 5, and of course the artilleries have not yet been spotted. Just slowing it down a little bit. Skull just trying to get some vision on whatever enemy tanks might be there. Spots the artillery. The Skull would know as much as anyone. There's often no need to shoot artillery when it's been spotted. There's often people seem to go a little bit YOLO once they see artilleries. And of course the T92. As any arty driver will tell you, they love killing other artilleries. The Mutz takes out the Charioteer, bringing the score up to 12-7, and now 12-8 as that WZ120 gets taken out by the Tier 9 American artillery piece. The VK still not moving forward. Maybe he's on low health. The German artillery takes out the big American one, and there's only the Tier 9 American artillery left, along with that UDIS. And of course we know that Tier 9 American arty has fired not so long ago because it just killed that WZ120 who was hoping Skull. Now Skull picks up his 4th kill of the game, and now it's time to find that cheeky American Tier 9 artillery piece who's already got 2 kills. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be loaded quite that fast, but hats off to him. He did the right thing and he shotgunned that pesky little WZ132. So it wasn't the quickest game in the world, but Team Efficiency Skull had a pretty good round. Ace Tanker Mastery Badge spotter for doing all that spotting damage, fire for effect, and of course patrol duty for helping the team damage at least 6 enemy vehicles, and he did that quite comfortably. Having a look at all that spotting that he did, he absolutely killed it. 1354 base experience, unlucky not to survive. He might have, maybe, I don't know, he could have rammed him to death, I don't know, but a shot like that, it just happens, doesn't it? 2,378 hit points of damage, 5,110 spotting. That's an absolute ripper. That was enough for an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. He fired 21 shots, only 12 hit, and all the ones that hit went through. But not a bad game at all. Cost him a bit of coin though, firing all that gold ammunition, plus the Chinese food as the premium consumable, but a couple of good replays featuring the Tier 8 Chinese light tank, WZ132, the tank that I think is going to be the most popular tank in Tier 8 Clan Wars once these changes to the light tanks go through. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for the replays. Take care, everybody, and see you all next time.